Morning! I'm laughing because I've filmed this intro so many times and messed it up. I just got back from a week in the Canaries with my daughter, so I'm feeling good. And I actually had a week off the bike, which is weird for me because normally I just sort of keep riding, unless I get ill and then I have to stop. But I'm in the middle of a lot of training that I'm doing for endurance racing and some stage racing this year. So weird though it may sound, a week of not riding was actually really great. I needed some time to recharge and recover because I got quite ill last year and I never really had an off season. And now I'm more fired up than ever to get straight back into my training. I know that people are interested in what training I'm doing for the endurance races because I've asked you before and I got lots of feedback. So thanks for that. I figured I'd just dive straight in and talk you through what would be a typical week for me as I'm training for things like Dirty Reaver, Rebecca's Private Idaho, Trans-Pyrenees, and a lot of gravel and bikepacking events. So let's jump straight into where we are right now. So I train 6 days a week. I have one pure rest day and I have another day that weirdly I kind of consider a rest day because I just go to the gym, but that's not a rest day, that's training. So in reality, I train 6 days a week, 5 of them on the bike, 1 of them at the gym. The work that I do is a mixture of long, steady endurance rides, a heck of a lot of sweet spot stuff, which builds your stamina and endurance without totally wiping you out, and also some threshold stuff that pushes up my FTP. Also just means that I'm able to ride at a high heart rate and a high intensity for longer, more comfortably, because I'm more used to doing it. Typically, I'm riding anything between, say, 12 and 15 hours a week at the moment. The training tends to be in cycles, say blocks of a month, and we will start off with less distance, less intensity, and gradually add the intensity and distance throughout the month until I have a slightly easier week and then we go back to the start. So let's have a little look at a week of training that I did mid-January. What I'm using here, this software is called Today's Plan, and it's just a kind of way that my coach can put all my training in. He can program how long I'm going to be in what zone. It syncs to Zwift, so when I go on Zwift, all my workouts are there and I can just ride. And then when I've finished riding, my rides automatically upload to Today's Plan and my coach can have a look at my training files and check that I've been doing everything properly. So it's quite nice because it makes me feel like I have to, well, I mean, I would do it anyway, but it's quite nice to be held accountable. That's kind of the main thing about having a coach. I've been working with a company called Train Sharp for 2 or 3 months. So I've really had a chance to get into the kind of style of training that they're setting me, and I'm really, genuinely, really beginning to feel the benefits. It's so gratifying to put in the work and actually feel it really truly working. What's been really good has been the specific way in which they've been increasing the intensity and the length of the intervals that I've been doing, because each week when I successfully complete a harder or a longer interval, it makes me feel really, really good. I mean, it's tangible progress. On a Monday, I always go to the gym and I have here a kind of workout that's been built for me by Connor at Train Sharp that involves, well, it's just legs. Every day is leg day. So squats and deadlifts and leg presses and some plyometrics. If you watch my other video about my winter training, you probably know a bit about this, but if you haven't watched it and you want to know more about the strength training that I do, then let me know in the comments. On Tuesday, I train twice, and it's 2 sessions that I really enjoy. I think I'm a bit of a sadist. No, a masochist. Anyway, one of those. One of the sessions that I do on a Tuesday is a threshold session. What I have to do is I warm up really well. I do this on the turbo, by the way. I warm up really well and then I have to ride at, well, just below threshold for a certain period of time. and then I have a 10-minute break, and then I do it again. So we started off with me riding at threshold for 12 minutes and then having a 10-minute break and then doing another 12 minutes at threshold. And at first, after a winter of doing a bit of base miles and sweet spot stuff, those threshold things felt awful and 12 minutes felt really, really hard. But each week, Connor adds 2 minutes to each interval. It progressed until I got to be doing 18 minutes around threshold and then a 10-minute break, and then 18 minutes around threshold, and I'm done. And because it had been done progressively, I was able to complete that workout, not easily, it's hard, but more manageably than I would have been able to otherwise. So it's really, really nice, and I like that workout because it makes me feel amazing. Later in the day on a Tuesday, I just get into some endurance miles. So I'd be training for 3 hours on a Tuesday, but it's two different, totally different kinds of sessions. On a Wednesday, I have been heading out on the road, and initially when I was riding in December, I would just be doing a regular endurance zone 2 ride, but now I have blocks of specific stuff to do within the endurance ride. So it'll be some sweet spot stuff, and then it'll be some different cadence stuff. So you're alternating between a heavy gear and a spinny gear, but trying to maintain the same watts. Then I'll do a bit more endurance zone 2, and then I'll go back to another block of strength and endurance, such as sweet spot. On a Thursday, I have been doing my main endurance ride of the week. So this started off at about 2.5 hours, and then it would be 3 hours, and then it would be 3.5 hours, and then it would be 4 hours, and ended up with me doing 5 hours last week before I went on holiday. Friday is always a rest day, and I quite like sticking to that one. I enjoy my rest day on a Friday. Saturday, it depends, and Sunday it depends. One of those days I'm allowed to do whatever I want. Of course, I could do whatever I want any day of the week. On one day of the weekend, I choose to go mountain biking. I don't care about how long I ride or how fast or how hard. I could ride all day, I could ride for half an hour, it doesn't matter. And that is so important to me because I just want to have some fun and do what the hell I want. Otherwise, I would get really bogged down in training and become really boring and nerdy and irritating. And then on the other day of the weekend, I have a session that I often do on the turbo trainer because I don't like to spend so much of my weekend away riding. I'd rather spend it with my family. I think what I've got here is a endurance turbo session, and I think you warm up and then you do 8, then 10, then 12, then 15, then 12, then 10, then 8 minutes at zone 3 with a bit of easy spinning in between efforts. That's what I've been doing. This week I've only just got back from holiday and I'm going to Japan next week, so I'm frantically trying to get all my training done before I go, because I am taking a bike to Japan, but I'm not going to be able to do all the training that Train Sharp have set me because I'm just going to be doing cool rides with cool people. So that's still good. But I'm trying to get in these workouts that will have specific benefits to me before I go. That's about it, really. My week is a mixture of sweet spot, threshold, zone 2 endurance, and gym. Plenty of rest, plenty of good food. I mean, that's all you need to do. The main things that I've learned, or have I learned them? Because if I've got to write them down, then anyway. So I've learned to listen to my body and take time off when I need time off. The other thing I've learned is that consistency is everything. Like ticking off these workouts that I've got week by week. When you can see it working, it makes you feel so much more motivated. I've also learned to eat more. So when I first started working with Train Sharp, I went out on this ride in Wales, and I found it pretty hard going, and I told Connor. He asked me what I ate. I told him, and he was like, seriously, try eating more. Put some carbs in your water bottle, eat more, just try it. And it got me thinking, you know on Sportives where they have those feed stations and there's tons of food the entire time? I always feel great on Sportives. So why not try eating more? So I've been eating more, and oh my God, it's worked so well. I don't get back from rides completely ravenous, tearing apart the kitchen, trying to eat everything in sight. The other thing I've learned is you've got to ride with people. Like these long endurance rides, doing it on my own, it is fun because I live somewhere beautiful and I do love going up on Dartmoor. But since I started going on the club run again, doing these long rides has just been A, easier, B, more fun, and C, I've actually gone harder because everyone around here is so damn good on hills that I just have to keep up. If you're not into training talk, then this is going to be hella boring, but I guess if you're not into training talk, you've probably switched off by now. If you've made it to the end, bravo. Let me know any questions in the comments. please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'm off to Japan on Monday, so I'm excited. Let me know what stuff I should do in Tokyo and in Oita, where I'm going. And yeah, see you next week. Bye.